morning, family and friends. I would like to share a few words on behalf of our beloved Maria Smaris Carrion. She is my aunt and my godmother. She is a beautiful, truly inspiring woman of God. All of us here gathered today to show our love for her as she loved us in return. Before I was conceived, my mom entrenched that Auntie Rose would be my godmother, my only aunt. I can affirm there never was and never shall be a more devoted godmother. From the beginning, I was with her almost as much as I was with my own parents. My own memory begins on the day that Joseph was born, when she took me to the hospital to see him. And I remember Auntie eagerly took every opportunity to babysit my brother and I. To this day, all I have to do is close my eyes, and I can tour her whole home, and her car, and her garden. I can still remember sleeping in her room, taking bubble baths, and trying on her makeup, and playing games with my brother in her garden, and being taught to fix my bed in her room, and attempting to cook with her in the house. We'd make egg breakfasts together, home-squeezed orange juice, and delicious strawberry smoothies. Her favorite perfume was Estee Lauder, and I was always excited when she'd let me have a spritz on my wrist and on my jaw, especially when we would go to Mass or to family gatherings. I remember when Joseph and I were too excited to sleep at our bedtime, and she laid out a few blankets and pillows in the TV room, and we'd all watch cartoons together till we drifted off to sleep. She took Joseph and me to the snow for the first time, and whenever I visit the snow, I think of those times. Joseph and I loved her dearly, and were very attached to her. One day, when Joseph fell asleep before our parents took us home for the evening from her house, he woke up in the car and got angry and started crying, saying he never got to say goodbye. We were all so moved that Daddy turned the car around and we went back to her house so he could get a hug and a kiss from Auntie. She always encouraged my brother and me to embrace our studies and our creativity. She would find many opportunities for me to sing and my brother to play for an audience. And she even volunteered to fund our music lessons. Without her, I wouldn't be able to sing as I do. She prepared me for my life on the stage with my makeup and my performance clothing. When she first painted my nails, it shocked my parents, but I knew that I was growing up. She was always extremely supportive on my faith journey, from my baptism to my reconciliation to my first communion and my confirmation. She was with me in every step of my life, even when I did wrong. I even admired the way she chastised me. She was stern, and if I deserved punishment, she did it. But always afterward, she'd take me aside and tell me why she did that, and always told me afterwards that she loved me. I was on retreat to prepare for confirmation, and she wrote me a letter in 6 pages, front and back. She is always so religiously inspiring, never faltering in faith, no matter what pain she was going through. I chose a confirmation named Rose, not only because of St. Rose of Lima, and because Rose is my favorite flower, but for Auntie Rose, so that she will always be a part of me, in name and in spirit. I remember she had me and my brother braid her hair and comb her hair. And when she first started losing her hair, fighter. 8 years of cancer, and she held on to life with every fiber of her being. She was a very strong person personally. And even though she wasn't big in stature, you listened to what she had to say. She took me aside and made me promise 2 things to her. She made me first promise not to cry when she passed. Obviously, I didn't keep that promise. But she also made me a promise several times to take care of my brother and my dad and my mom. And I intend to do just that. Last night, I cried at the viewing. But when I saw anyone else crying, I felt compelled to hold them in my arms with the strength and compassion that Auntie Rose had. When I held her hands in the casket last night, I remember one day when Daddy, Joseph, and I visited her towards the end, and we held her hands to keep them warm. I felt like if I held her hands long enough, they would warm up as she did then. Last night, she looked as if she was just sleeping. When I was editing pictures of her, from a long time ago, the black and white pictures and the old pictures, I was reminded of her beauty and radiance. I looked at her last night, and I saw that no pain, no death, no cancer could take away that beauty. Never. Everything changes, but true beauty remains. I was afraid when they were closing the casket last night because she always liked tall ceilings when she slept. But then I realized that where she is, there are no ceilings. No ceilings holding her back. I'm confident that she went straight to heaven. And just like in the reading during the rosary last night, that Jesus will prepare a room for us in heaven. I picture Auntie Rose fixing up my old room and tending to a beautiful garden waiting for me. Auntie, I miss you. I love you. Wait for me.